Enggak. Pas dia kesini, nggak pas dia anterin pacar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start this morning by reciting Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And on behalf of the Executive Committee, we would like to say thank you very much for joining us today. And also, please apologize due to our Zoom capacity. We only allow around 500 participants among more than 2,500 participants who have registered. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, for those who cannot join our Zoom meeting today, you still can follow our live streaming through Facebook and YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, our discussion today, this morning, is regarding the challenge of halal certification in the pharmaceutical industry. And our discussion today will be led and moderated by Professor Kaswar Shamsu. Professor Kaswar Samsu obtained PhD from the Department of Chemical Engineering, University of Queensland in 1994, and he is now an academic staff at the Department of Agri-Industrial Technology, Bogor Agricultural University. Professor Kaswar Samsu also has joined the LPPOM MUI since 1995 as an auditor. And since 2009, Professor Kaswar Samsu has been appointed to be coordinator of expert staff of LPPOM MUI. Since 2018, also, Professor Kaswar Samsu has been appointed as the director of Halal Science Center, Bogor Agricultural University. So, to Professor Kaswar Samsu, please take your time.
Okay, thanks Ms. Ratna. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, respected participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is really my pleasure to welcome you all to the virtual seminar entitled Challenge of Halal Certification in the Pharmaceutical Industry. This webinar is a collaborative seminar between Indonesia Halal Training and Education Center with the Ministry of Health, the Republic of Indonesia, LPPOM MUI, Ivanka, and PT Bio Farma Indonesia. Respective participants, ladies and gentlemen, the outbreak of COVID-19 will certainly increase the need for the pharmaceutical products, particularly prescribed drugs to combat and fight the disease, vaccines, and nutritional supplements to improve the immunity system. On the other hand, started from 2019, Indonesia has also implemented the law number 33, year of 2014, about the mandatory of halal product assurance for all products marketed, traded, and distributed in Indonesia. The purpose of this seminar is to provide information about the regulation related with the pharmaceutical product in Indonesia, the world demand for halal medicines, the need of the halal pharmaceuticals, and finally, the experience of one of the pharmaceutical industry in Indonesia on how to enter the halal market. We hope this seminar will be able to answer the challenge of halal certification for the pharmaceutical industry, to grab the opportunity to win the halal market in Indonesia in particular, and in the Muslim countries in general. For this purpose, we are honored to have 4 competent speakers in this seminar. First, Dr. Agustini Banon Saptaningsih. Good morning, Dr. Agustini Banon Saptaningsih.
Good morning, Professor Dr. Insinyur Kaswar Shamsu, MSc.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Agustini. The second speaker will be Dr. Muhammad Munir Chaudhry. Good evening, Dr. Chaudhry. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Good to see you, Dr. Shamsu.
Thank you. The third speaker, Dr. Luqmanul Hakim. Good morning, Dr. Luqmanul Hakim. Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning.
And all the speaker. The regard my friend from USA, Dr. Chaudhry. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Dr. Luqmanul Hakim. Good to see you.
Okay, the first speaker, Dr. Mas Rahman Rustan. Good morning, Dr. Rahman Rustan. Assalamualaikum.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum, everyone.
Okay.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam. Our respected guests, ladies and gentlemen, all speakers are already with us now. We are ready to start the presentation. However, before we start the presentation, would you please allow me to deliver the rule of the seminar? First, for the sake of the smoothness of the seminar, the host will mute all except the speakers. Second, we will make a panel discussion of 4 competent speakers. Each speaker will have about 20 to 25 minutes for presentations, maximum 25 minutes. After all speakers deliver the speech, we will have discussion session in which we will have question and answer. For the participants, if you have questions, please write down on the Zoom chat. We will read the questions in the discussion session, and the relevant speakers will answer the questions. The fourth, all participants are requested to fill in the attendance list and the feedback questionnaire. The link for the attendance list and the feedback questionnaire will be shared later during discussion session. The certificate will be given only for those who fill in the attendance list and the feedback questionnaire. So I repeat again, the certificate will be given only for those who fill in the attendance list and feedback questionnaire. That's the rule of our seminar. Now, let us start with the first speaker, Dr. Agustini Banon Saptaningsih. While Dr. Saptaningsih prepared the share screen for the presentation, would you please allow me to read the short CV of Dr. Saptaningsih? Dr. Agustini Banon Saptaningsih obtained PhD from Faculty of Medicine, Gajah Mada University, Indonesia. Since 2018, Dr. Agustini Banon Saptaningsih has been appointed to be the Director of the Pharmaceutical Production and Distribution, Ministry of Health, the Republic of Indonesia. Dr. Saptaningsih also shared her knowledge in pharmaceutical logistics as a lecturer in Esa Unggul and Respati universities. In this seminar, Dr. Saptaningsih will tell us about the pharmaceutical regulation in Indonesia. Now, would you please welcome Dr. Agustini Banon Saptaningsih.
Thank you, Prof. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to greet Mr. Muhammad Munir Kaudri, PhD, Dr. Lukmanul Hakim, MSc, Dr. Muhammad Rahman Rustan, and our moderator for today's international webinar, Professor Dr. Insinyur Kaswar Samsu, MSc. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm going to give a talk about regulation of halal pharmaceuticals in Indonesia. I'm going to divide my presentation in 4 parts, as you can see in the outlines. First, the background. Second, the regulation. Third, basis for halal certification. And fourth, the efforts to support halal pharmaceuticals production. And the background, ladies and gentlemen, according to global data, Indonesia's pharmaceutical market is the largest market in the Association of Southeast Nations, or ASEAN, and is expected to reach 10.11 billion by 2021. The key drivers for the market are the introduction of 15 economic policy packages to attract foreign investors. The implementation of universal health coverage scheme or Jaminan Kesehatan Nasional and growing urban population. President Joko Widodo has given a mandate to the Minister of Health to focus on the issues of stunting, national health insurance, basic health care services, and affordable pharmaceutical and medical devices for the next 5 years. And the regulation further affirming Indonesia's commitment in supporting the pharmaceutical market, the President has stipulated Presidential Instruction Number 6/2016 concerning the acceleration of the development of the pharmaceutical industry and medical devices. The Ministry of Health has followed up on this mandate by issuing Ministry of Health Regulation Number 17/2017 concerning the action plan for the development of the pharmaceutical industry and medical devices, which serve as a guide for stakeholders to advance the domestic pharmaceutical industry.
Ini pakai screen ini.
Dua slide ya.
Sorry. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, law number 33/2014 concerning halal product assurance has mandated that products that enter, circulate, and traded in the territory of Indonesia must be certified halal. The definition of products in the scope of this law is goods and or services that are related to food, beverage, drug, cosmetic, chemical product, biological product, genetically engineered product, as well as consumer goods that are worn, used, or utilized by the public, including medical devices. And then the halal product assurance law is then followed up by government regulation number 31/2019 concerning the implementing regulation of law number 33/2014 on halal product assurance in accordance with the mandate of the government regulation. The Minister of Religion Regulation number 26/2019 has been established concerning the implementation of halal product assurance. Based on government regulation number 31, the Ministry of Health is also involved in the implementation of the halal product assurance law, such as mentioned in Article 8, which states, as you can see on the screen. This has been followed up with an MOU which was signed by the Minister of Religion and 9 other ministers, including the Minister of Health. Cooperation agreement is in the discussion process. In addition to that, government regulation number 31/2019 state that Article 72 verse 5 provisions regarding the passing of halal certification requirements for types of product as referred to in paragraph 3
Ini sudah termasuk arsip, Jar. Saya minta itu berapa sama arsip?
Article 74 verse 4 further provisions regarding the medicine and biological products and medical devices that have not been sourced from halal ingredient and or which manufacturing manner have not been halal as referred to in paragraph 2, and the provision of complying with the good and halal manufacturing practices as referred to in paragraph 3 shall be regulated by presidential regulation. Passing for halal certification. The passing for halal certification is based on Ministry of Religion Regulation number 26 year 2019, as you can see on the screen. However, I would like to focus on biological products, including vaccine, which will be regulated by the presidential regulation, and medical devices, risk D class will be regulated in presidential regulation with halal passing of approximately 30 years. As noted in the previous slide, the passing for biological products and risk D class medical devices will be regulated in the presidential regulation. For biological products, passing period is planned to be 30 years. This is based on the scarce raw materials alternative for biological products due to limited halal raw material suppliers, as well as the current insufficiency of domestic upstream industry. The research process also requires a long time because it has to go through the selection and replacement of halal materials, process optimization and pre-cleaning testing. Clinical trials must also be carried out from phases 1 until 3. And for risk D class medical devices, also plan to receive a passing period of 30 years. This is because risk D class medical devices requires clinical trials in humans to ensure safety, quality, and compatibility of intended use with product performance. Phases 1 until 4 clinical trial is needed, and this approximately takes 10 until 20 years. These are the sample of the pharmaceutical industry and medical devices industry that are halal certified. And efforts to support halal pharmaceutical production. Ladies and gentlemen, collaboration and coordination are needed within ministries, agencies such as Indonesian Ulama Council, National Development Planning Agency, National Agency of Drug and Food Control, as well as collaboration with the academics and researchers from research centers, collaboration with financial institutions and industries, and finally with the community. And in order to support the production of halal medicines and medical devices, the Ministry of Health is currently in the process of preparing halal medicines and biological products guideline and halal vaccine roadmap. And I would also like to remind you of Indonesia's achievement of having been selected as the Center of Excellence on vaccines and biotechnology products for OIC member countries. This decision is listed in resolution number 4/6-ICHM in 2017, and as a follow-up, Indonesia launched the OIC Center of Excellence on Vaccine and Biotechnology Products in 2018. This center includes the provision of facilities for a broad scope of research, as well as providing opportunities for cooperation in the development of new and existing vaccines that can be utilized by OIC member countries. The draft roadmap of the OIC Center of Excellence on Vaccine and Biotechnology Products has been submitted at the 7th Islamic Conference on Health Minister in Abu Dhabi on 15 until 17 December 2019. This roadmap describes the broad picture of the center's development in 3 stages, short, medium, and long term, and aims to strengthen research and development of quality, safe, and affordable vaccines and biological products, capacity building, and strengthen cooperation and collaboration between OIC member countries. One of the short-term activity of the Center of Excellence is the capacity building for OIC member states. This has been realized through a workshop on cold chain management for OIC member countries held in Bandung, Indonesia, on 1st until 2nd October 2019. Thank you. This is my presentation. Okay.
Very informative presentation. Respected participants, ladies and gentlemen, we have listened how the pharmaceutical regulation in Indonesia. Now we come to the second speaker, Dr. Muhammad Munir Chaudhry. While waiting for the share of presentation, would you please allow me to read the short CV of Dr. Chaudhry. Dr. Muhammad Munir Chaudhry obtained PhD in food chemistry from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, Illinois, USA. After 15 years in American food industry in various technical and management roles, Dr. Chaudhry dedicated his knowledge and experience to the Halal certifying body IFANCA, Islamic Food and Nutrition Council of America. Dr. Chaudhry now is the President and CEO of IFANCA USA. In this seminar, Dr. Chaudhry will present the topic about world demand of halal medicines. Now, would you please welcome Dr. Muhammad Munir Chaudhry.
Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum, all brothers and sisters, participants to this seminar. Dr. Agostini, Dr. Luqman al-Hakim, and Dr. Rahman, and also Dr. Shamsu taking this challenge and can't hear you. I was muted.
Okay.
No, you are not muted, Dr. Chaudhry. You can proceed.
I can continue?
Yes, you can continue. We are listening.
Okay. I cannot see the screen, so I thought maybe I was muted. Okay. Assalamu alaikum again. I will continue where I left off. Okay. Now I see the screen. Okay. Here I represent all the global certifiers, especially World Halal Food Council members, and together we would support Law 33, and also we are in a position to help the industry meet the requirements of the law. Okay, I will touch upon different areas of pharma, but my concentration is going to be on vaccines tonight. As certifiers, we have been working with food industry globally for last 30 some years, 30 to 40 years, some of us longer than that. For consumers, we take the doubt out of the products. For marketers, we take the anxiety out of marketing. And even more importantly, we take the hassle out of producing the halal products. Now, as far as the market is concerned, here, these slides are taken from Global Islamic Economy, prepared by Dinar Standard. And you can see between 2013 and 2018, the Muslim consumption of global, which is reported, went from 72 billion to 92 billion. And it's projected to go up to 131 billion by 2013, which is an increase of annual increase of between 6 and 7%. Next slide. And who are the major players? We look at the OIC countries, and I picked the top 5 exporters of pharma to OIC countries. Germany is number 1 with 5.1, France number 2 with 4.4, USA number 3 with 3.5, India is 4th with 2.2, and UK is number 5 with $1.7 billion are exports to OIC countries. Next slide. On the consumer side, now this slide may not make sense to many because this has no reflection on the population of Muslim countries. So wherever the data came from, this is what the compilation is, that Turkey is number 1 in spending on pharma with 11 billion per year. These numbers are from 2018, reported in 2019. Saudi Arabia spent $8 billion on pharma. USA, this is for comparison, not a Muslim country, but has 7 billion expenditure on pharma. The segments considered here may be different than I'm going to reflect upon in my presentation. So number 4 is Indonesia at 5 billion spending. And Indonesia has been, I think, consistent around that figure for previous 5 years also. Algeria is number 5 with 4 billion. And Pakistan is number 9 on the list with 3 billion. And the reasons I said this has no reflection on the population, Indonesia having population of more than 230 to 40, and Turkey less than 100 million. I'm just guesstimating these numbers, around 80 million, has twice as much spending. And Pakistan with almost 200 million people has only expenditure of 3 million. So what is counted as pharma by Dinar Standard may be different than the total pharma, what I will cover in the next slide. These are the areas I feel they fall under pharma, including the devices. I did not put the devices here. I tried to stay with the consumable items. So prescription drugs, whether they are parenteral, used, administered in the hospital, or the prescription taken home to take, that is a big segment. Second is vaccines, which is equally big, but it also is a lot more visible for different reasons compared to the other segments. Then OTC products and nutritional supplements, traditional medicine, because Law 33 also addresses the traditional medicine, and organs and tissues. I will concentrate on the first four segments and not on traditional medicine and organs today. Next. What are the issues in all those segments? Okay. First, the biggest item, biggest concern for us is porcine components, anything coming from pig. And there is a large amount, a large number of ingredients used in pharma, which most of the time may be necessary, and it would be as excipients, diluents, dissolvers for many reasons. So trypsin has been a key issue. Trypsin has created many problems even in the food industry. Next is gelatin. Actually, gelatin is one of the biggest item, biggest ingredient in food and pharma industry. Okay. If we could take just the porcine gelatin out of food and pharma industry, this would be huge. That would be bigger than life. And the third area, excipients are very, very important also, because excipients are approved by FDA. And there is a long process of approving the excipients also. And it's very, very difficult to get new excipients in. And when we talk about converting some formulations to halal formulations, we get pushback from regulatory agencies, because the process to approve not just the main drug elements, even the excipients is very long and tedious. Other non-halal materials is just what you start with. It has been about 14 years when HIV hit the humanity, and there is no vaccine still developed, because no company has been able to produce a vaccine. There might be other interventions, maybe secondary drugs, but and it takes a long, long time. And the development of materials play a huge role in it, okay? I'll talk a little more about development materials later. And the culture media. Anything grown these days, you need growth media, you need culture media, and the ingredients in the culture media are also scrutinized. Many of the time we use the same yardstick, same standard as the food, but we need to look at the media from the drug standpoint, because the need might be different for the pharma. And the next major item is alcohol. We're not talking about alcoholic drinks. We're not talking about khamr. We're really talking about ethanol and ethyl alcohol, which is a solvent, diluent, sanitizer, and many other functions. But average consumer may not consider that alcohol, chemical alcohol is different. They're going to say alcohol is alcohol. So there would be some hesitation and pushback. Okay. Next. In prescription drugs, so major items are capsules, both two-piece capsules and soft gels. Again, the biggest non-halal ingredient is gelatin. In tablets and caplets, biggest non-halal ingredient used as ingredient for the tablets to form and ingredients stick together, again, is gelatin. For powders, there might be some non-halal ingredient. Syrups, there's alcohol, and now alcohol can be, is being taken out and replaced with some other ingredients. We see syrups with more compliant to the halal requirements, okay? And excipients are used in all of those. Next. Now, vaccines, what are the concerns? First is development material, okay? Now, we have had coronavirus outbreak since late last year, around October, and in USA, it hit in February, I think, and it has been growing, and we are not seeing the end to it in USA yet. I'm glad that other countries have taken charge and have controlled it some extent, but vaccine is not available yet. Many companies are working on it. They're saying they will pretty soon be testing it and bringing to the market. But what are those development materials? It whatever is going to make the virus grow, and the same thing might be used for the components which are going to be created as part of the vaccine. For some of the products, they used liver tissue of different animals to grow the bacteria, and the best was found to be monkey livers. For that particular vaccine, monkey liver became the development product. There are probably dozens of other products, but that's the significant one. And we could say, well, monkey liver is not halal. How can we use it? But understand there are four stages in the development, okay? And we'll discuss all those four stages. So the concern are development material, porcine and unknown components, enzymes, trypsin, and gelatin. The other concern is the cultural issues. And some communities, some religions say, we don't want our kids, us to take the medicine. The Halal program has actually helped to break some of those cultural barriers. I use one example where in one of the African countries, a medicine man was giving hard time to the school authorities that he did not want the community to receive a drug which was used for cervical cancer. And it's not a Muslim country. They showed our certificate to the medicine man and the school authorities and said, this is an independent organization which approved the drug. It's safe. And lo and behold, they accepted it and started using it. So there are going to be that type of issues always. So health concerns and fears of people and another issue. autism has been a big issue. People say, no, it gives autism to the kids. We don't want vaccines. And I grew up in Pakistan, and a lot of the people was short limbs and one limbs missing because of the conditions which were later treated by the vaccines. People think it's vaccines have dangerous side effects. They think some of them think they just don't work. They're useless. A perception of being targeted. Some people say, "Oh, we don't know what the big pharma or the governments are giving us to make people sick or something," or fear of just what's in it, what ingredients are in it. Next. So 4 stages of manufacturing I mentioned, and for all 4 of them use different types of ingredients. First is the research and development, where the scientists and the medicine profession need to find out what is the culprit, virus or bacteria, how it works, how it grows, and find the segments and pieces of that, and find out what are the materials which actually attach onto the human tissues and how it works. Once they find out how it works, then they have to find out that what is it we could produce to bind those sites. And any material in the world is basically a game for that, because the purpose is find a cure, a product which works. At that time, that is the only concern. What is it that's going to work to cure, to prevent people from having COVID in the future or HIV in the future, okay? And there is no consideration to culture, no consideration to religion, and that is the most important part, that what it is, how it's going to work, how we make products to prevent it. Second is the production of subparts. It's not just, okay, you get one quinine chemical and make the pills out of it and give it to the people. Creating the vaccines is a very, very complex matter. For one of the factories, there are 4 different subparts made in 4 different full-fledged factories. And the 5th factory combines those subparts into the main vaccine ingredient. Then once that's identified, the formulated, they know exactly what it is. The 5th is the final product, combining all the subparts and then standardizing it with whatever excipients are needed to do the right job. And it depends on how the dosage is going to be, whether it's going to be liquid and syringes, it's going to be tablets or any other form. And the final part, okay, now all these 4 stages are using all types of excipients, ingredients. Some of them stay in, some are used and are taken out or deactivated. 4th is final production of the vaccine or any other pharma for that matter, and the final packing. And in that final packing are the excipients used, which are actually administered to the human being. This is the part where we are saying industry should look at all the excipients and take all the haram element out. Now, what is surviving from the first 3 stages is going to be minuscule if it is there. It's not to be an active ingredient. So this is how we look at production of pharma and looking at the halal requirements, and we will work with the authorities and the Department of Health to identify the action and see what makes sense the best way. So basically create the best product which works for taking care of the problem, and it also takes the doubt out and takes the anxiety out. Next. So for life-saving drugs, vaccines, tissues, if the halal product not available, the decision is either the consumers' families, or the governments. For Saudi Arabia can allow for vaccines, some of them may not be halal certified. That's a government decision. And it's a decision of the persons who want to travel to Saudi Arabia, whether to take that drug or not. So that decision is not in organizations like us. Our job is to help the industry make as many halal suitable product as possible. Okay? And then the health promoting drugs. The same issue applies because it is the decision of the governments and the consumers what they would like to consume. We want to make it easier for the industry to help develop the products which are acceptable to our communities. Next. So over-the-counter drug, obviously Muslim concerns are again gelatin and alcohol. Industry, effectiveness and shelf life, because drug has to be effective, full strength, and shelf life is very, very important. I can give you one small example. We tested pork gelatin versus beef gelatin for 5 years by an industry who makes encapsulated beadlets powders. After 5 years of testing, the ingredient supplier said this is very good. The bovine gelatin does work. They gave it to the pharma company. They tested this for shelf life and effectiveness another 5 years. And after 10 years of testing, the pharma industry said the shelf life and the effectiveness is not as good as porcine gelatin. So what that company did for Muslim countries, they used bovine gelatin. For rest of the world, they use porcine gelatin. Okay, so porcine-free products are doable. It's a challenge. It's an effort at all levels. Okay? Once the product is certified and it is especially it's consumed, administered by the consumers themselves, halal logos and marking do help in identification. Halal certificates do help in taking the doubts out and helping the consumer make the right decision. Next. Nutritional supplements, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Nutritional supplement is a huge market. These are very, very similar to pharma. There's vitamins and minerals and other nutritional elements. Okay? Supplements both in the capsule form and non-capsule form, and recently nutritional enhanced products are available and have been being developed for some time. Direct marketing of nutritional supplement is an established sector. Mostly people use that as their additional income. And pharmacies and supermarkets are a growing sector. Many of the big supermarkets we see in USA have started carrying all types of supplements. Next. Looking ahead, the challenges: cost, it's manageable; effectiveness, yes, it can be effective. So there are compromises. They have to be understood. Shelf life, same thing. It's going to be variations depending on the formulation. Enhanced process, Muslim R&D. I put it down because some Muslims say we need to control it ourselves. There is industry out there which has been established for 100-some years. They do a good job servicing all the humankind. The pharma industry is not developing the products for whites or blacks or browns and yellows or Muslims and Hindus. They develop the products for Homo sapiens, a human being. Okay? And they're doing a great job, and we will help them. If Muslim organizations, industry, countries feel that big pharma is not taking care of their needs, they are going to establish their own production sites, and some of the countries are doing that, and we work with them also as my colleagues, all the halal certifiers. Regulation fatwa. Fatwa has been changing with the times, and this is also something which scholars are very proactive in deciding what's good, what's not good for us. Gelatin supply, halal gelatin is right now there's one company making synthetic gelatin. Next. Science to the rescue. Okay, country-specific branded products are already available. The major corporation makes a product which suits different countries' needs. Okay, that's already being done. Insulin development, if you look into the history of it, first it was either human insulin or porcine insulin being used for controlled sugar. Now there has been synthetic insulin created through GMO technology, which everybody can use, Muslims and non-Muslims and vegetarians and non-vegetarians. Now, gelatin, the biggest issue for Muslims, porcine is never going to be acceptable, okay? We have people who say, I'd rather die than taking porcine medicine, okay? If they know it. Many times we don't know it. The bovine gelatin is available from bones, both halal and non-halal. Hide gelatin is available from halal and non-halal. Fish skin and scales gelatin is available. Synthetic alternatives are coming up. Plant alternatives are there also. I know 2 companies who are making the beadlets. They are using combination of fish skin gelatin and either carrageenan or agar, because either one of them does not work properly. Fish gelatin is too soft, doesn't work. The plant gums are too hard, very high temperature to dissolve and all that. So companies are finding ways to satisfy our needs. Next. Well, thank you very much. I hope I gave, I offered some of my insights of 40 years of experience, last 15 years working with the vaccine industry. We have at least 9 vaccines certified, available globally. There are 3 or 4 which have been on hold. We have not approved them because of excipients. And then this work will continue for our colleagues in the pharma industry, for regulators, and for my colleagues, the halal certifiers. Our services are available to all of you. We are open. We will work with anybody and everybody to make the products available for the Muslim consumers. Our motto is we take the doubt out and we are serious about it. Masalam.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad Munir Chaudhry, for the excellent presentation based on your experience in the pharmaceutical industry. Respected participants, ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions, just feel free to write on the Zoom chat, and don't forget to write your name and whom the question is addressed to. Respected participants, ladies and gentlemen, we have listened how big is the demand of halal medicine in the world. What about in Indonesia, which is the largest Muslim country in the world? The next speaker, Dr. Lukmanul Hakim, will tell us the urgent need of halal pharmaceuticals in the world in general and in Indonesia in particular. While waiting for the Dr. Lukmanul Hakim prepare the share screen of presentation, would you please allow me to read the short CV of Dr. Lukmanul Hakim? Dr. Lukmanul Hakim obtained PhD from the Islamic University of Europe in Rotterdam. He has joined the LPPOM MUI since 1993 after graduate from Department of Chemistry, Bogor Agricultural University. In 2009, Dr. Lukmanul Hakim was appointed to be the director of LPPOM MUI. And from 2009 to 2011, Dr. Lukmanul Hakim was elected as president of World Halal Council. And from 2011, he was elected as president of World Halal Food Council. And from 2019, Dr. Lukmanul Hakim is also appointed as special staff of the Vice President of the Republic Indonesia. Now, would you please welcome Dr. Lukmanul Hakim?
Okay, thank you. Kaswar Samsul. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All the speakers and all attendants, rahimakumullah. First of all, I would like to thanks for this big opportunity for this seminar to share the information about the challenges of halal certification in the pharmaceutical. I think all the information have been delivered by the two speakers before. It's very important and very helpful for us to have the figure of the halal certification in the pharmaceutical. Dr. Agustini has already explained about the regulation for the pharmaceutical, especially in Indonesia, as well as the halal regulation in Indonesia. And Dr. Chaudhry has already explained more detail about the technical aspect, especially for being certified or for obtaining halal certificate or to complete or meet the requirement of the halal for the pharmaceutical. I would like to just emphasize some of the topic to just make this discussion more rich information. Yeah, just want to share my presentation. Yes, sorry, belum diizinkan hostnya. Mana makalahnya coba. Terus belum diizinkan dok. Oke, masuk nggak? Yap, sorry. Tolong cek.
Share screen.
Udah. Sorry for waiting, just technical problem in it, but while we are waiting, I think I would like to emphasize and to thank to the host and to the committee for this seminar, very important seminar. I think because this seminar is will be helpful for us, for the industry and for the company, yeah, and for the consumer to get the halal pharmacy in the world. Yes, I would like to just short information about the global halal market in the world. The pharmacy is Indonesia is in the number the fifth biggest Islamic economy indicator score, and in the pharmaceutical, especially Indonesia, are not in the big 10 who play the pharmacy, yeah, the good pharmacy. So this is, I think, our challenge to put the program under the Minister of Health, how to get the pharmaceutical industry, especially halal, in the world. Okay, Indonesia has already established the halal certification. It's more than 30 years, and we have two conditions. I mean, two parties for to rule the halal certification in Indonesia. First of all, is the scientific agencies. We call it like LPPOM MUI. It's one of the scientific agencies, and in this organization produce the scientific judgment, and this scientific judgment is being discussed in the Sharia Commission or Fatwa Commission to get the Sharia judgment or fatwa, halal fatwa. So this is two parties in the rule to determine the halal in Indonesia. So because sometimes when fatwa determine the halal status of the product without any information from the scientific group, so it will be the information, it will be not completely yet. Sorry. And up to now, I think one of the entity joined in this rule of the halal certification, It is government to just register all the products certified by MUI. This is the figure of the halal certified product in Indonesia until July 2020. This is for all the product, food as well as medicine or pharmaceutical. But for pharmaceutical, there's only 1.34% of the product certified by MUI. It's mean that we need to improve the certified medicine for the next years. In July 2020, just 0.93% of the certified product by MUI are medicines. And the next, the halal certification challenge, I think we are focusing for the materials. So I would like to explain about the MUI Fatwa number 30, 2013 regarding medicine and medication. So Islam prescribed medicinal method because it is part of the protection and health care which maintaining the ad-daruriyah al-khamsah. So this is mean that for us and for Islam, we need to work to get the healthiness by the medicinal methods. We are not enough just staying at home to get your healthiness. The second is do not disrupt the Sharia as an effort for medicinal treatment. The third is for medicinal purposes must use halal material and suci ingredient. Excuse me. The use of haram material or najis substances in medicine is not allowed. And fifth, the use of medicine made from haram or najis for treatment is not allowed unless medicine used in condition of compulsion or darura, namely condition of compulsion which can threaten human life, or urgently condition that are equivalent to emergency condition. Al-haja allati tanzilul manzila. Ad-darura, namely urgently condition which able to threaten the existence of the human soul in the future. So halal and suci material has not been founded yet, and there are no competent and trusted paramedic recommendation belief that there are no halal medicine as a medication. Says the sixth, the medicine for external usage that made from najis or haram materials are allowed as long as washed or purified. So this is the rule under the fatwa MUI to consume or use the medicine. I would like to emphasize that there is a big different rule for food consuming and for medicine consuming. So this is, I think, can be used for the industrial pharmaceutical industrial as a rule in your industry, in your production. So because of course, and we need still try to find the halal one of the medicine, but this is the rule for using of medicine and for produce the pharmacy.
Please share the slide. We can't see. We're only on slide 2.
Huh?
No more your slide, Mr.
Sorry. Okay. This is the example of critical material in the pharmaceutical industry. So if you are can extract the sources of the pharmaceutical product, they are coming from, come from plant, animal, viruses, microbial, mineral or synthetic materials, and orifices of human beings. So this all the visibility of raw material can be halal or not halal or haram. Sorry. Sorry, I skip. So this is the I think the bisa kelihatan nggak? Sorry for the technical problem. Sudah, dari sini. Okay. This is, for instance, from the plant. There is some of the raw material we can find: alkaloid, glycoside, steroid, saponin. then we should concern for the process by fermentation or ethanol as a solvent, and herbal simplicia, there is a raw material. And the raw material for sources from animal, there is two kind of the animal according to the halal issue, the non-halal animal and the halal animal. Non-halal animal, of course, this is absolutely we cannot use as a raw material, and we cannot consume. But for the halal animal, there is two halal animal. The way to consume, one of them are being slaughtered for the consume, but the rest is we can consume without the slaughtering. But for the animal, must be slaughtered before consumed. Of course, we need we have the procedure, the standard halal for the slaughtering. And some of the raw material we can take from these animal sources are, for instance, protein, peptide, amino acid, vitamin, mineral, enzyme, etc., etc. This raw material, most of the raw material, animal raw material, can be used in the pharmacy, especially for the microbial product, for the media, for the capsule, or gelatin, like Brother Chaudhry mentioned. So this is the sample of the sources of the raw material. So how can we get all those raw material with the halal status of the product? This is just only the figure to help you as industry to get the halal raw material. Next. Okay, this is next. I think this is the explanation. MUI have the positive list database to help the industry and to help the certifiers to more easy to certify the product, especially in this discussion is for the pharmacies. So positive list is mean that the raw material not need to be certified, and the information are already clear that those or raw material are halal. So this list, I think, make us for the certification process become faster, and mutual recognize with all certifiers is the second way we can halal certification more faster. We have 45 halal certified body in the world, like in the US, Brother Chaudhry from Ivanka. So this is the challenge for all the certifiers to share the big data of raw material, the halal raw material. By this way, I think we can process the halal certification for the pharmacy are more easier and more faster, rather than we just study by itself, yeah, and by alone it's more difficulties, yeah, and of course need or take a long time. This is not good for the business side for the pharmacies. So working together in the with all the halal certifiers in group of the World Halal Food Council, I think to just share the positive list or all the information about the halal raw material will be help the company in the world for the pharmacy to get the halal certificate. Next. Oh, udah. Next. Okay, this is, I think, the in paper member information. Thank you. That's just a very small brief from us, and sorry for the technical problem. I'm waiting for the next detail in deep discussion after the session. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Luqmanul Hakim, for the very informative presentations. Respected participants, ladies and gentlemen, we have listened the urgent need of halal pharmaceuticals in the world in general and in Indonesia in particular. Now, last but not least, we come to the last speaker of our seminar today, Dr. Mas Rahman Rustan. Yeah. Dr. Rustan will share the experience of the pharmaceutical company to enter the halal market. While waiting for Dr. Rahman Rustan preparing his share screen of presentation, would you please allow me to read the short CV of Dr. Rahman Rustan? Dr. Rahman Rustan obtained PhD in Strategic Management from Pajajaran University, Indonesia. Dr. Rustan has joined PT Bio Farma from 2001 with various technical and management roles. Now, he is the Director of Operation of PT Bio Farma Holding. Since 2014, he is also Vice Chairman of Organization of Islamic Cooperation on Vaccine Manufacturer Group. Dr. Rusman will have presentation with the topic Readiness of Pharmaceutical Industry for Entering Halal Market. Now, would you please welcome Dr. Mas Rahman Rustan.
Thank you, Professor Kaswar. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Professor Kaswar Syamsi as the moderator, and distinguished speaker, Dr. Agus Dini, Dr. Chaudhry, and Dr. Luqmanul Hakim. Allow me to share the presentation, but the host still disabled my screen sharing.
Jadi dia co-host.
Hello. So I try to share, okay. So is it now shown?
Yes.
Okay. So Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Again, first of all, we would like to express our gratitude, especially to the organizing committee for inviting us to join this important conference. Actually, is to share our experience in preparing the pharmaceutical industry for entering halal market. So as the outline in this presentation allow us to explain the pharma business characteristic before we discuss the halal assurance system, its challenges, the strategic role, and followed by a recommendation. I will skip some slides due to time limitation, and a presentation will be shared to the audience. So we are aware that the diseases could be divided into two main groups. The communicable diseases, which could be prevented by immunization by vaccine administration. As a treatment for both diseases, communicable and non-communicable, the treatment could be administered by chemical, herbal medicine, or other alternatives. Pharma business characteristics are highly regulated, scientific, capital-intensive, and fragmented market. R&D stage are more complex. It's a high cost, high risk. Therefore, it would be more beneficial for the Ummah to consider halal aspects starting from R&D stage. In Indonesia, we face that more than 90% raw materials are imported, mostly from China and India, Korea, United States, and Europe countries. So the pharmaceutical products used in determining the diagnosis, preventing, reducing, eliminating, healing wounds, and the key factors for pharma products are quality, safety, and efficacy. Biological products consist of vaccines to improve immunity to a particular disease, Biosimilar is proved to be comparable to an already approved reference. And the blood derivative product, medicinal products based on blood constituents such as albumin, coagulating factors, and immunoglobulins of human origin. So regulation which should be fulfilled by pharmaceutical and biological derived product are quality, safety, and efficacy, as we know as a TOYIB. So current standard explain in detail for all aspects, including personal until validation. If we compare between the quality system and a halal assurance system, it will be found that quality system is a part of halal assurance system, applicable to all production stages from incoming raw material till distributing the products, as well as for the responsible employees. This picture shows that QMS or quality management system is a part in halal assurance system, and all the system could be integrated instead of separated. Rules for halal pharma are including the Law of Republic of Indonesia number 33, 2014, stated that products that enter, circulate, and traded in the territory of Indonesia shall be halal certified. Halal assurance system ensures that the pharmaceuticals are designed and developed in a way that comply with the requirements of GMP and halal. If the processing line which contain or contaminated with najis, then the najis cleansing shall be required. The halal pharmaceutical fulfill the following conditions: do not contain any parts of products of animal that are non-halal, not prepared, processed, or manufactured using equipment contaminated with najis, do not contain human parts or its derivatives, and the preparation, process, manufacturing, packing, storage, and distribution should be separated from other pharmaceuticals that do not meet halal requirements. The facility and equipment system must be well separated by distance and other means from any non-halal animal. The production system dedicated and self-sufficient facility so that it can minimize the chance of contamination. The animal handling area must be isolated. The equipment and required for sampling and testing must not be made using materials that are not halal or dubious, and also the laboratory control system able to investigate presence of porcine. The challenges of biotechnology products are complex, unstable, and also unstable compared with the conventionals. The trend of future medicine will be dominated by therapeutic proteins and monoclonal antibodies, and blood-derived products such as albumin, IgG, factor VIII, and proton bind. The vaccine is one of the biotechnology products which will be the key for cost effectiveness for human health. In emerging countries, several vaccines are included in national immunization program, such as tuberculosis, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, polio, measles, hepatitis B, which are manufactured in Indonesia, Bio Farma, as one of the vaccine manufacturer, while other vaccines are still in pipeline, such as pneumonia, HPV, rubella, and rotavirus. New vaccines in the R&D pipeline will face a complex processes and need to fulfill several stages: preclinical tests to animal, clinical phase 1 for safety, phase 2 for immunogenicity, phase 3 for efficacy with more subjects. Starting from lab scale to licensure, the process could take more than 10 years for development. New vaccines in the R&D pipeline also have the development. Although the technology for vaccine development currently has a significant progress using reverse vaccinology or bioinformatics, we strongly suggest that halal aspect should be considered from beginning of research stage by using the free animal origin materials. Source of active and pharmaceutical ingredients could be provided from animals, human, such as blood products, plants, microorganisms, or synthetic chemicals. So I will skip this slide because it has been explained from the previous speaker in more detail. From the scope of halal certification, we can guarantee our internal process in the industry, such as production, storage, distribution, and serving. But since the materials mostly imported, the raw materials for pharma industry will be our big challenge. For ensuring the halal material, it should be tracking and tracing from starting from raw materials to packaging materials must be halal. So tracking and tracing the material should be ensured, the procurement system. There are specific documents requirements of raw materials. Supporting data requests are certificate of analysis, flow of process, statement of porcine free. But our questions are, is it produced in dedicated facility? Do the supplier implemented the cleaning validation? Usually, supplier has a certificate of analysis, but not familiar yet with halal certification. So there are some challenges faced by pharma industry. The first is the complexity of type and numerous active ingredients and excipients, mostly imported. Secondly is a complexity. Then the international regulatory affairs drug review process ensuring drugs are qualified, safe, and effective. The fourth is product halal certification process needs certain time. The fifth is the production process must be separate, are significantly costly. And the last, the changes in one of components of the formulation, especially biopharmaceutical products, may cause reprocess, retest, revalidation, and proceed the new clinical trial. The strategic role of biopharma as the only vaccine manufacturer in Indonesia are to fulfill the national immunization program. So since biopharma had been recognized by WHO, its excess capacity could be supplied to other countries to support the immunization program, especially in emerging countries. There are more than 100 vaccine manufacturers around the globe, but less than 30 manufacturers are qualified by WHO. Alhamdulillah, Bio Farma is one of the manufacturers recognized by WHO. And starting 1997, vaccine manufactured by Bio Farma are qualified by WHO, followed by other viral and bacterial vaccines. Until 2019, there are 14 products are qualified by WHO and has been distributed to more than 140 countries, which 52 of them are Islamic countries. In the OIC region, Indonesia is known as hub for vaccine innovation. During the Islamic Conference of Ministry of Health of OIC member states in 2017 in Jeddah, Indonesia is stated as a center of excellence on vaccine and biotech products in OIC region. As Dr. Agustini said, that the COA are launched in 2018. The spirit of OIC Center of Excellence is to strengthen the collaboration among OIC member states in terms of R&D collaboration and technology transfer to other brothers and sisters in OIC region and among the members of OIC VMG, which Bio Farma is elected as a vice chairman of this organization. One of the program of OIC VMG is capacity building, sharing knowledge, know-how, and experience, conducted workshop for the members. Every member states need to achieve the self-reliance in vaccine and medicine production and availability, especially to handle the global pandemic like COVID-19. We need to collaborate, not to compete. WHO now has a program for a solidarity trial for COVID-19 medicine, as well as the vaccine to combat the SARS-CoV-2 virus. This is not the update status for vaccine development, but until now, there are about 20 vaccines candidates in clinical trial stages. As one of the effective treatment to combat SARS-CoV-2 virus is the convalescent plasma transfusion, which is processed by plasmapheresis from human blood from the recovery patients. Besides United States, Indonesia and Saudi Arabia now has set the program for this treatment. As one of the important part of this presentation, allow us to conclude and suggest some recommendations. Halal aspects should be considered starting from research stage, involving academician or research institute, government and regulators, business, such as industry, and ulama. We need ulama to discuss fatwa for any treatment of vaccine and medicine. And also ulama, government, and regulators could set the program for ummah. This is only, for example, in Saudi Arabia, that fulfillment the immunization program is required for school registration. Since the halal standard for pharmaceutical and biological has not yet established around the world, like food and beverages, countries in the OIC region need to find a solution for any standard harmonization. We have discussed in OIC VMG and with some institutions such as IHEF in Dubai. The important things that people will not doubt to take medicine and vaccine for improving quality of life. The last slide are the recommendations. Complexity of research and development of biotechnology production technology need to establish the consortium, starts from R&D stage, involving academia, industry, government, community, and ulama. And joint research among research institute and pharmaceutical industry to provide raw material and halal medicine. The majority of pharmaceutical raw materials are still imported, so we need the cross-sectoral coordination to contribute to halal criteria of medical products and vaccines. The global forum to identify technology progress, and also to determine the halal criteria in OIC member countries. I thank you for your kind attention. Shukran jaziran. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Mas Rahman Rustan, for the inspiring presentation. Respected participants, ladies and gentlemen, we have listened all presentation from all speakers. Now it is time for discussion. We will read the incoming questions from the Zoom chat. Meanwhile, please don't forget to fill in the attendance list and feedback questionnaire. The link has been shared by the committee today Zoom chat. Now, the first question is coming from Mr. Dafal Sonaji. This question is addressed to Dr. Agustini. Can the halal certificate issued by other MUA agencies in respective countries of the origin of material, either raw material or finished product, be accepted by NIDFC, or each ingredient or finished product has to be certified by Indonesian Halal Certification Laboratory? This question is addressed to Dr. Agustini, but later on probably Dr. Lukman can also answer this question. Okay, please, Dr. Agustini, time is yours.
Yeah. Thank you, Prof. Answering a question from Mr. Dafal Somaji and Mr. Hadrian Shahrazad regarding the recognition of products that are certified halal overseas. As of now, according to information from BPJPH, mutual recognition agreements between halal certification bodies of Indonesia, and overseas are still in process. We have received approximately 80 submission from foreign halal certification bodies, including Chile, Australia, South Korea, and New Zealand. An MOU with halal certification from these 4 countries is still in the finalization process, and therefore right now those products need to be recertified with BPJPH in Indonesia first to be recognized. This is the answer from BPJPH. Thank you. Maybe Prof. Lukman can give the answer to Dr. Lukman, sorry. And then answering another question from Mr. Hadrian Shahrazad regarding halal R&D. Right now, halal R&D are being done in the halal centers in universities such as Unibro, Universitas Brawijaya, ITS, ITB, and ETC. Thank you, Prof.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rusni. Brother Lukman, Dr. Lukman, would you want to answer the question too?
Yeah, thank you. Just to elaborate the question from, about the recognition of the halal certification. Actually, in the government regulation for the recognition of the halal certifier out of country, of Indonesia, the rule will be done by the MUI with the BPGPH. Up to now, yes, we are waiting the regulation for the standard procedure of the recognition of the halal certifiers in the world. So while we are waiting, so we still using the list of the MUI recognition halal certifier list. So we are waiting the new regulation actually. So it's mean that yes, we start the discussion that the recognition for all the certifiers in the world is joined together between MUI with the BPGPH. But while we are waiting, so we still use the access list. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rusni and Dr. Lukmanul Hakim. I think there is another question from, some question from Brother Hadrian Shahrazad has been answered. But still one question is, in Indonesia, which institution will be responsible to coordinate halal R&D initiatives? Whether it's from BPPT or BSN or Kemenprin, this Kemenkes, universities or Kemenak or religious affairs? Probably Dr. Rudini can answer. Dr. Agustini can answer the question for this, for the R&D initiatives.
Excuse me, Prof.
Yes?
Because could you repeat the answer?
Okay, the question is, in Indonesia, which institution will be responsible to coordinate halal R&D initiative? Whether it is from BPPT or BSN or Kemenprin, this Ministry of Industry, or Kemenkes or Ministry of Health, universities or Ministry of Religious Affairs, who will be the coordinate the R&D initiative for the halal medicine?
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Until now is right now halal R&D are being done in the halal centers in universities such as University of Brawijaya, ITS, or ITB, and ITB, or another university. But the government maybe is BPJPH will coordination the R&D, halal R&D. Maybe Dr. Lukman can give another answer too. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Dr. Lukman, you want to answer this question too?
Yeah, thank you. Just start talking about the halal R&D. I think this is the big issue in Indonesia because this is the new era for the pharmaceutical industry in Indonesia. Now, yes, we are now under discussion to increase the halal industry as well as for the pharmaceutical. I think we would like to make the agency join with the Minister of Health, the Minister of Religious Affairs, and industry like biopharma. And this industry, halal industry, is monitored under the government in the vice president offices. So inshallah for the next, I think this group will run very well and very fast because biopharma and others government company for the pharmaceutical are working together to produce the halal pharmacy and doing the research for to find the halal pharmacy. Inshallah, for the next years, I think in this year we are starting discussion in this year, but next years will be more easy for us to help the halal to get the halal pharmacy in Indonesia and from the world. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Agustini and Dr. Lukmanul Hakim. Seems that the committee has arranged the question for Dr. Agustini first and Dr. Lukman. Okay, so the next question is from Miss Prima Liranti Febrina. As mentioned in government regulation, there is a plan to have mutual recognition with other countries' halal body. We are aware that MUI already recognized several foreign halal body only for raw materials, slaughtering, and flavor. How about the finished product? Whether currently Indonesia have recognized foreign halal body for finished product, especially drug products? So this question is for finished product, not only for the material. Is there any planning to have the recognition for the halal certifiers in the world for the finished product? Actually, this question is addressed to Dr. Agustini, but I think Dr. Lukmanul Hakim also can answer this question. Okay, please, Dr. Agustini first.
Yeah, I think it's Prof. I think it's the question is for the Dr. Lukman, yeah, because from MUI. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Agustini. This is the good collaboration between us. So hope the next collaboration will be more good. Yeah. For the recognition of the product, I think yes. The point is MUI just have the authority only recognize the raw material and the halal status of the raw material and the product. But when we mention about the product, there is a lot of regulation in the product itself, like packaging, labeling, and etc. etc. Well, this regulation is not in MUI regulation. That's why for MUI we just only can recognize for the raw material, because too much regulation to final product, and which is MUI have no authority for that. For labeling or for the packaging, there is a lot of I think there is a regulation, and the authority is in the government, like in BPOM or Minister of Health. So that's why we are now working only for the raw material and cannot be entering for the final product because of those reason. So hopefully when we can work together under the one umbrella in the governmental organization and working together with MUI, this issue will be finalized for the future, for the good transaction or halal export and import for the wood and for the final product. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lukmanul Hakim. The next question, I think this is for Dr. Agustini. This is from Miss Reski Maidayanti, or Rere. This is from PT Boston Scientific Indonesia. The question, as shared in your slide, the slide number 11, would you please help to explain more on this part? What is appear on the slide, the MOH is currently processing to get more supervision on halal certification for medical device, but at the same time recommending for the exemption of halal certificate and label for medical device and household device. So would appreciate your help to explain more in these questions. Okay, please, Dr. Agustini.
Sorry, Prof, because I've been read in chat. Could you repeat the question for me?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, as shared in your slide, this is slide number 11. Would you please help to explain more on this part? What is appear on the slide that MOH is currently processing to get more supervision on halal certification for medical device, but at the same time recommending for the exemption of halal certificate and label for medical device and household device. So seems like a little bit contrary.
Thank you for your question. Supervision of halal certificate of halal labels for medical device and household health supplies. As you can see on the screen, for class risk D, we have 30 years for the pace of halal, but we have the MOU with the BPJPH, and we will supervision of halal certificate and halal labels for medical devices and household health supplies, and facilitation of halal certification for medical devices and household health supplies, and recommendation to revoke the halal certificate and halal label for medical devices and household health supplies. And now we still on the process for this MOU with the BPJPH. Okay, thank you.
Gitu ya. Okay, thank you, Dr. Agustini. So the next question is for Dr. Chaudhry. Dr. Chaudhry, are you still with us?
I'm with you 100%.
Okay, good. Okay, this is from Mr. Som. What could be the alternative to gelatin? If not, how do the regulator treat this case? It's about the gelatin. Okay, please, Dr. Chaudhry.
Well, the currently available sources of gelatin, which are halal, are limited. Bovine gelatin and fish gelatin, and little bit of poultry gelatin being produced right now. Supply is not enough, even if 100% of that bovine gelatin can be made halal. So there are two alternate sources. Gelatin is used as a gum and for some other technical functions, okay? Now, one are the plant sources, agar, carrageenan, xanthan gum, gum arabic. Some of the uses can be replaced by plant gums. Okay? The real change is going to be when synthetic gelatin becomes available, especially for the technical reasons more than the food use. So there is a possibility that synthetic gelatin will become a reality. Okay, just like enzyme, synthetic rennet, it became was developed in middle 80s, and in USA 80% of rennet used right now is a synthetic rennet called Chymex or synthetic chymosin. So there is hope.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chaudhry. Probably this question is also relevant to Dr. Luqmanul Hakim if you want to answer these questions, or also Dr. Rustan, which have experience in the real industry. Okay. Okay. Okay, if there is no answer, so the next question is from Mr. Fahrizal Nugraha. This also the question to Dr. Chaudhry, but I think Dr. Luqman or Dr. Rusin or other speakers also able to answer if they have the answer. Okay, this is from Mr. Fahrizal Nugraha. What about blood fractions product as a bioproduct? Is it considered as halal or non-halal? So this question actually is addressed to Dr. Chaudhry.
I'm a scientist, a chemist. I think this question should be addressed to the religious authorities. We follow the law, religious laws of the land. For Indonesia, we follow MUI fatwas. For Malaysia, we follow Malaysia. Okay? We ourselves create guidelines, not fatwas, which are applicable to the work we do, but we work for the country, and the country of import or production has to answer that or declare that. I would not have a position on it at all. Now, there are, if it is blood, the blood transfusion has always become universal, and anything extracted from the blood would be seen either same way or similarly. But again, the final verdict is going to be, the fatwa is going to be by religious scholars.
Dr. Luqmanul Hakim, you have an answer based on experience from the Fatwa Committee. Actually, this question should be addressed to the Fatwa Committee from each country. So probably experience in Indonesia, Dr. Luqman, do you have an answer?
Okay, thank you. I think MUI has already released the fatwa for this issue. You can find in the detail in the fatwa number 45 years 2018. The fatwa using of the blood plasma for pharmacy. Actually, this I could tell in brief that the plasma depend on the animal sources, and the way to get the plasma, the blood, it's mean the blood is should come from the halal animal and get by the slaughtering. Then the process can be recognized as a halal. And in the detail, you can read in the fatwa MUI. You can find it in the Google, in the website of MUI or LPPOM. But in brief, I would like to say that it's allowed according to the fatwa, but depend on the on the animal of the sources of the blood. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Luqmanul Hakim. So the next questions from Ms. Aryati Ekasari. This question is addressed to Dr. Chaudhry. From what you explained before about the vaccine product, that the pharmacotherapy and side effect of the product become one point to concern. Do halal body like Ivanka and MUI do some assessment from that side, or just from halal status of the product?
It is a very good question. Currently, our mission is to work on halal also, not on the other issues. But we can, if there is a market demand, if we can work with the other organizations and groups. Currently, we don't look into the pharmacotherapy area at all.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Chaudhry. Dr. Luqmanul Hakim, you want to answer these questions?
Okay, I think come to the very basic status. I mean, the basic principle of the halal and tayyib, halal and tayyiban. I think this is a good discussion to have this discussion. For the food, yes, we have the discussion about the halal and tayyib. Some of the products are halal, but sometimes are not tayyib. I mean, give the not good effect or even bad effect for the person. But I believe that the effect for the person are not same for the different person. I think depend on the personal. So this is we can call the halal and tayyiban. But for the medicine, I think for the pharmacotherapy, I think maybe first of all we are, of course, yes, we are concerning just only for the product, but for the side effect, yeah, I do believe that this effect is not for the, I mean, for not general, but maybe for the space for the only certain person. So the halal and tayyiban. So the product is halal, but sometimes if this product give the impact or negative effect for the persons, it means that this product are not tayyib. So better to just avoid this product for that person. But still, in principle, for the raw material or for this product containing halal material and halal process, still we can say this product are halal. This is my explanation. I think same for the explanation for the food. Let's say, for instance, the coffee. Coffee is halal, but some person have the effect with drinking coffee, even a cup of coffee, because of the heart beating or maybe some allergy. It means that this coffee still we can say halal, but for that person, this coffee are not tayyib. It means that this product should be not consumed by that person only, but the status still halal. This is my explanation. Thank you.
I think now the question turn to Dr. Rustan. This very technical. This is a question from Mr. Mukana Hari. So the question is, how can we test or prove that the drug do not contain porcine or human parts? Please, Dr. Rustan.
Yeah, thank you. You are right, Professor. It's very technical. So to ensure that the products of pharmaceutical or biological it's fulfill the halal assurance system or not, so the laboratory control system needs to tracking and tracing the raw material used and also the process, and also able to test is it contain the porcine or not. So the technology now we have the PCR, polychain reaction, to detect the DNA, is it comes from the porcine or other animals. And I think it's possible now because not only for the DNA for the porcine, for the time being, for the COVID-19 also, we need to detect the virus of SARS-CoV-2 using the PCR. It's a very accurate system. I think that's my technical answer, Professor.
Dr. Rustan, the next question is still for Dr. Rustan because it is related with the biopharma. This question from Mr. Adaiman. I am interested with halal vaccine. It is very important for Muslim population. As I know, Bio Farma is one and only vaccine manufacturing in Indonesia has opportunity to produce the halal vaccine. The question is, in which phase now the halal vaccine development in Bio Farma?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Brother Adaiman. So we need to set the strategy to get the halal products. So if I can say, we divide it into 3 strategies. The first one is a short-term strategy. The short term is we need to evaluate all the existing products we produce using the raw materials, and also try to observe is the material fulfill the halal requirements or not. And the midterm, if the raw material using from the non-halal material, so we have to set the plan to find out the substitute materials we need to change if it's available. But the challenge is, until now, the raw materials for pharma grade is very limited. And also to change the one component in pharmaceutical or biological, it has an impact to the quality, safety, and efficacy. So means possible we need to also conduct the new clinical trial for this, and it takes time. So while we are trying to find a substitution, these existing products need to be used until we have the substitution. And for the solution, we strong suggest to the all stakeholders to collaborate to find the materials used starting from the R&D process. So this is our midterm strategy. And the long-term strategy, also we need to communicate and collaborate with the partner, especially in OIC member states, for the halal criteria to find out and to also to get the substitute or materials used in other countries. But thank you to Pak Lukmanul Hakim, my best mentor and also my best friends, for discuss the materials used for pharmaceutical. We need to get the different rule between the food and beverages and pharma and also biological products. If the condition is in emergency or darurah, or the materials has been purified or has been transformed into other form. So this strategy need to be set and collaborate in stakeholder in Indonesia. So I welcome to Dr. Lukmanul Hakim suggestion to discuss this important point for the next rules for the pharma products. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rustan. Dr. Lukmanul Hakim, you have a comment?
Okay, still. Yes, this is the big challenges, I think, for us, especially for Indonesia, to get the halal pharmacy. But Alhamdulillah, thanks for God, that today all the stakeholders in pharmacy are starting to open mind to discuss to get the halal pharmaceutical in Indonesia. Especially for Dr. Rahman as a chief of the Bio Pharma, we can start discussion starting from the research and development, join together with the group, yeah, how to produce the halal pharmaceutical, especially halal vaccine. I think this is a good challenge. We can work together, but again, I would like to emphasize, MUI have a fatwa. As long as there is no halal vaccine or halal medicine, yes, we can use the non-halal medicine or a vaccine. But for us, as a scientist, as a Muslim scientist, as a man who has the authority, it is this obligation for us from Allah to find something halal. Otherwise, we will be fined by Allah. Yeah, this is the law. I think yes, there is the way to consume the non-halal pharmacy, while we are not find the halal one. But for us, I think as a scientist and the man who has the authority, it is not allowed just to stay in that position. We should work hard and work together. And then, Alhamdulillah, today we are in last week in the last day. I think a few days ago and a few months ago, especially starting this year, we start discussion about this matter, and hopefully, I think for the future, Indonesia will have a very good future for the halal pharmacy. But as I mentioned in my figure in my presentation, but up to now, the pharmacy's product certified by MUI just only 1.3%, comparing with the total product we certified. This is again, this is a big challenge for us to tell to the pharmacy industry that please come to be certified, to be certified, and don't be afraid, because there is a rule for using the pharmaceutical product. So this is good challenge, I think, Dr. Rahman and Dr. Dini, So we will work together for Ummah, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And of course, we need the support. Sorry, Mr. Prof. Kashwar. Of course, we need the support from the all certifiers all over the world, to share the information, very important information about the halal of the raw material, and from the industry. I see in this seminar, there's a lot of there's some certifiers in the world join in the seminar, especially members of the World Halal Food Council. Thank you for your join for this seminar. This is very helpful to support Indonesia to get the halal pharmacy. And from the industry in all over the world, certified by certifiers or certified by MUI, are the member of this seminar. I would like to thank you, and maybe we can share the information from your side, what the point you can share. It's very helpful for us to get the halal pharmacy or halal medicine and even vaccine for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Luqmanul Hakim. The next question still specific for Biopharma for Dr. Rahman Rustan. This is from Ms. Vidya Argarini. Has Biopharma successfully developed halal vaccine, for example, Rota vaccine so far? If yes, what were the challenges during the development? If not, by when is the target timeline for the Biopharma to be able to produce a vaccine that is halal? Okay, is this Dr. Rustan?
Yeah, thank you, Sister Widya question. Now, Biopharma is committed to fulfill the regulation, including the halal aspect, and starting from evaluate the existing products. We also identify the list of the raw materials, because raw materials we received from the supplier. Other aspects like production, storage, until distribution and serving it's our control. So we can sure and we can guarantee about the process, but the raw materials is our big challenge. As we know that the raw materials for pharma grade, 90%, more than 90% is imported from China, India, Korea, United States, and Europe. And they have familiar with certificate of analysis for the MSDS, material safety data sheet, but not yet familiar with the halal certification. So the important things that like Pak Lukmanul Hakim said, need collaborate with certified bodies in around the globe. Now Bio Farma has get the certification for halal for our vaccines like BCG for tuberculosis, and our another vaccines for influenza also still in evaluation from LPPOM Ulama Council, and we'll move forward to other products, bacterials and combined vaccines. But it takes time because, as we explained, at the certified for halal for the raw materials, we need to explain to our partner abroad. Sometimes we also need to audit to their facility and discuss about these requirements. And for rotavirus and other new vaccines, now we set the plan to fulfill the halal aspects, start from the R&D process. For the rotavirus, for example, we use the recombinant trypsin, and I think so the target is 2023, inshallah. And I believe that starting from the R&D process, it will be easier for us to ensure all the halal aspect has been fulfilled. We cannot say that our product halal, because halal is authority by the ulama to judge it's halal or not, but we can say that all the vaccine produced by Bio Farma now has been distributed to more than 140 countries around the world, and 52 of them are OIC member states or Islamic countries. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rahman Rustan. The next questions goes to the Dr. Lukmanul Hakim. This is from Miss Mentari Lis Yuliani. It's from PT Fapros Terbuka. The first question is, could be a product that is made from metabolite stem cell that is cultured from human cell is registered to get the halal certification. If it could be processed, what kind of supported documents that are needed?
Yeah, again, we have to thank you, Mr. Moderator. I think we have to discuss this matter to the Fatwa Commission, but MUI has already discussed this matter with the Fatwa Commission. I will have this discussion because if metabolic stem cell that culture from human cell, this is the big issue, and up to now. And using in the pharmaceutical, I mean the medical method, yeah. But I would like to ask first and discuss with the Fatwa Commission, is it halal allowed or not allowed? So we are waiting for the fatwa, and I will share while we have we got the decision from the Fatwa Commission. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lukmanul Hakim. Probably Dr. Chaudhry, would you like to answer this kind of questions? So I repeat again, could be a product that is made from metabolite stem cell that is cultured from human cell is registered to get a halal certification. If it could be processed, what kind of supported documents that are needed?
It's a very tough question. And what type of documents would be needed? There is no documents needed whether the tissue is coming from a human being. The whole process needs to be supervised, not just the documents. And again, I would use the example of blood transfusions. What type of documents do you need for blood transfusions? If again, it's a life-saving intervention, you don't need any supporting documents, you're just going to administer it. But if you consider any of the parts to be halal, you have to look at the individual chemicals, how they are produced, how they are grown for further enhancement, and what other ingredients are used. Not the base material, but what else is used. And if the country of import for us accepts it, we would certify. We always consult the country of import.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chaudhry. The next question still for Dr. Luqmanul Hakim. If we register material from wool, is it needed halal certificate for the slaughterhouse? It is not that the wool does not need to slaughter the sheep, so they actually they cut directly from the hair of the sheep.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. We depend on of the uses of the wool. If the wool is the raw material for, so let's say, extracting the amino acid from a wool, of course, I think, I mean, it's mean that for food should be, I mean, no need the halal certificate will from wool. Yeah, it's wool. Some part of the animal can be taken. I mean, we can get without slaughtering, but then and not make any illness or like from the. We have the experience about the raw material from the horn, yeah, and we can get a piece of the horn without any damage or make for the animal, yeah. I mean, make any harm for the animal. It is allowed to get it, and of course, sometimes for the food we have to concern the process, getting the wool. I mean the process, yeah, the wool. Sometimes maybe for the isolation or fractionation or something for the process food, for the process, we need to concern for that, yeah. But for the wool itself, when we use, sorry, when we use for the, let's say, jacket or whatever, we use. I think this is no need to be certified, yeah. I mean to slaughter. Thank you.
Luqmanul Hakim. Now we go back for the question for Dr. Agustini and Dr. Luqmanul Hakim actually. Dr. Agustini, are you still with us? Okay, this is a question from Ms. Iin Nurhayati to Dr. Agustine and Dr. Lokmanul Hakim. I have question regarding oncology and biological product. If I'm not mistaken, last status of these products will be regulated in a presidential decree. May we know the current status of this product, whether halal certification is mandatory for oncology and biological product?
Yeah, thank you from Mr. Iin Nurhayati from Pfizer. Even though presidential regulation that regulate the passing for biological products have not been mandated yet, right now those products can still enter and distribute in Indonesia based on government regulation number 31 year 2019 article 74. Yes, this is the answer. Maybe Dr. Lukman can give the another answer.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Dini. Dr. Lukmanul Hakim, you want to add something?
Yes, same like Dr. Agustin. Yeah, there is no regulation yet for this product. I think, all these issues are addressed to the Minister of Health. So we are waiting the presidential decree, I think. Yeah, but up to now there is no decree for this matter, I believe. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Agustini and Dr. Lokmanul Hakim. The next question is for Dr. Chaudhry. This is specific for Dr. Chaudhry. Has Ivanka been verified and listed in the Indonesian Halal Agency or BPJPH for pharmaceuticals and vaccine products? If not, is there any plan to do so?
Yes, it's a good question. Ivanka has sent the application to be recognized by BPJPH, and they have not replied about the accreditation. So far, we are accredited by MUI, and we provide all the services under the decrees of MUI. So whenever the government, Department of Religion, BPJPH, opens up the accreditation, I hope they would consider our application the first.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chaudhry. This is the next question. This is also, I think, for Dr. Chaudhry and also Dr. Lokmanul Hakim. This is from Ms. Nida Fadilah. So, alcohol use for sanitation. Is it allowed to use alcohol for sanitation process? Because it will evaporate and is not available on the product. Thank you.
Ethyl alcohol, ethanol, we consider a food chemical, and it is one of the two solvents and cleansers, water being number one, ethanol or ethyl alcohol being number two. Now, the difference between ethanol and alcoholic drinks is that alcoholic drinks are considered khamr. They are also considered najas, unclean. Ethyl alcohol is a chemical which is not najas. It comes from different sources. Initially, many countries were not accepting it, and we did not accept it, but there aren't many alternates for ethyl alcohol. We had worked with the industry to create sanitizer using isopropyl alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol has more toxicity than ethyl alcohol. So we do not see any problem. And also we have created guidelines how much can be used for different food processes. The minimum quantity we accept for food use, for drink use, is 0.1%. And that is 1 part in 1,000 parts. And how did we determine that? We actually did a scientific study. We diluted alcohol into 5% sugar solution at 0.5, 0.1, and 0.2%. And at 0.1%, none of the food tasters could detect the sting of alcohol. So we decided for the ice cream, for cookies, for all other good things, if it's less than 0.1%, it's below the detection limit. And the guideline comes from the religious guidelines. You consider it as an impurity. If impurity is too small to see with your eyes, to smell with your nose, or taste with your taste bud, it's too small to worry about, unless something has to be toxic or poisonous, then no amount is acceptable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chaudhry. I think Dr. Luqman Hakim also will answer from the Indonesian halal standard. Please, Dr. Luqman Hakim.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Moderator. For the Ms. Nida Fadilah, I think the question is it allowed to use alcohol for the sanitation process or not? Yes, it is allowed. But I will invite you to come to read all the fatwa about alcohol from Majelis Ulama Indonesia. Majelis Ulama Indonesia have the fatwa about the halal, about the alcohol are very detailed, starting the fatwa of the alcohol 2003, 2009, and 2015. So this is, I think, can help you to make your standard using the raw material, especially for the alcohol for your industry. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Luqmanul Hakim. The next question is going to Dr. Luqmanul Hakim. This is from Miss Manita Khairil Hana. In the slide number 16, stated that the other halal supporting documents other than halal certificates consist of specification, flowchart, statement, and questionnaire. The question is, do we have to provide all? And what if halal statement comes from supplier that is not familiar to halal concepts?
Yeah, thank you. This is a very technical question, I think. But I try to answer the question. Actually, we need a specification of raw chart statement, especially for the critical raw material. Yeah, we divide the raw material in the critical and non-critical raw material, and we need more detailed information such as specification, flow chart, or statement. Even the questionnaires they have to answer, especially for the very critical raw material. And do we have to provide it all? Yes, you should provide for critical raw material, and you can you can provide better to provide all specification and flow chart and statement. The halal statement come from suppliers is we cannot accept because the halal should come from the third parties, especially from the halal certifiers, and more special from halal certifiers we recognize. This is, I think, my explanation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Luqmanul Hakim. The next question is from Miss Justin Nurwulandari. This from PT Kimia Pharma. How to process halal certification in Indonesia if the product has halal certificate that is issued by halal certifier that is not yet recognized by MUI. For example, there's halal certified body from Greece?
Addressed to me,
Justin, yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, the recognition is just to study the procedure and the halal standard for the certifiers. That's why we recognize the halal certifiers all over the world. Without the study of that, the information, all the information of the certifier, of course, we cannot we cannot accept the certificate because we don't know how the procedure, the SOP of that certifiers, what the halal standard of that certifiers. Yeah, we have the experiences, more a lot of experiences we find about the certifiers, but that's the conclusion of IMUI, that to recognize of the certifiers, we should know the procedure, the standard, and we have 7 criteria for the halal certifier to be recognized. Without that, unfortunately, we cannot accept the halal certificate from the halal certifiers all over the world. To just make sure this procedure are to just make sure that that certificate, halal certificate, are valid, and that halal certificate are comply with the halal requirement of the Muslim of Indonesia. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lokmanul Hakim. The next question is from Mr. Som. I think this question is addressed to Dr. Lokmanul Hakim, but this question is also relevant with Dr. Agus Dini. The question is, by when should the drug manufacturer in Indonesia should comply with the halal medicines? Is there any timeline to comply? Okay, read Dr. Lokmanul Hakim first, because this question addressed to Dr. Lokmanul Hakim.
This should come from the governmental side, because the regulation of the drug should comply with the halal medicines. I think under the law, under the Act 33/2014, should be started 2019, but then the government have the delay, for the next 5 or even 10 years, so we are waiting. I don't know exactly when it will come, but in this session, I would like to explain that up to now, for the medicine, there is no regulation asking to be certified for the to enter and distribute in Indonesia. Yeah, thank you.
I think Dr. Agus Dini, would you like to add some information about the timeline to comply with the halal for the medical product or pharmaceutical product?
Yes, I think regarding the government regulation number 31 year 2019 article 74. So right now all the medical devices and biological product and all medicines can still enter in Indonesia and distribute in Indonesia. Yeah, regarding the government regulation number 31 year 2019 article 74. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Agus Dini. The next question still for Dr. Lokmanul Hakim, because this I think the question is from Mr. Zwagri Argopitoyo. The question is that, is it possible with this COVID-19 pandemic, LPPOM MUI made a policy to conduct the on-site halal audit with the new normal protocol?
Yeah. Thank you. LPPM UI still run to do the certification even in the pandemic of the COVID-19. Now we are living in the technological era, so we can use the technology to outside audit by technology. This is, I think, the technological era. We call it MOSA, MOSA, yeah, modified on-site certification audit. So this is the technology. So it's mean that we're still working as a normal, but using the technology as a tool. So the certification still running under the process of the LPPOM MUI. So don't worry, we're still working for protecting the Ummah. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lukman Hakim. Probably Dr. Chaudhry would like to answer how is it about in Fanka? Is there any audit still audit during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes, alhamdulillah. We are conducting about 99% of the scheduled audits. Most of the audits are conducted by video conferencing. Documents are checked on the screen. Also, we ask the people who are still working in the plant, which are not the quality control and the management people, they show us the critical areas of the plant on their smartphones. Also, in some of the plants, we have closed circuit TVs. So we are monitoring it all the time. Anytime we want to look at the slaughter, we want to look at the cleaning protocols, we could just log on to their closed circuit and watch it. Yes, absolutely. Everything is going on. And for us, some of this might become normal. Our normal regular inspections are only once a year. With this new technology, new found way of doing things, we can audit the facilities more often. Thank you.
Okay, the next question still go to Dr. Lukman Hakim. This is from Mr. Heru Prastowo. So the question is that, according to the law number 33, 2014, halal certificate will be valid for 4 years. Recently, we got a certificate from LPPM MUI valid for 2 years. The question is that, will the certificate be valid for 4 years?
Okay. In the sorry. According to from the Act law number 33 2014, the halal certificate will issued by the government, which is BPGPH. So that's halal certificate from BPGPH, the valid for 4 years. But that regulation are not mentioned about the halal certificate from MUI. And now we are just to synchronize with the law, with the Act number 33 2014, MUI issued the decision, yeah, isbat halal, the decision of the halal. So the halal certificate and still the valid still in 2 years, but the halal certificate from BPGPH 4 years. We are still a discussion again. The regulation are not issued yet because the Act in Indonesia, it cannot be implemented without the government regulation. So we are still in discussion for that issue in the government regulation. Yeah, so MUIs up to now still issue the we call it the new name are the halal determination or isbat halal, and the validity of this isbat or the halal determination still for 2 years. Yeah. we will discuss later on with the government. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lokmanul Hakim. The next question still for Dr. Lokmanul Hakim. Yes, I think this from Brother Umar Hafiz Hasbullah. Yeah. Is there any database of blacklist product that indicates contain haram materials? So if the MEI have the positive material, is there any blacklist material containing haram materials?
Of course, I think it's very easy to we have, but for that list, yeah, a positive list, negative list, we call it negative list, yeah. Then these lists are used by us, yeah, to help the halal certification process during the audit, and of course these raw materials sometimes we find containing the haram material like porcine, or they declare actually in that specification clearly that the material containing porcine, for instance, or containing the part of the human body, like from human hair, or the or the any animal part, haram animal part. So it's just very clear. Of course, we have that. So and this list still increasing the number, and during the audit we find something, and maybe we got the information from our brothers from the halal certifiers. So always the number are increased every year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lokmanul Hakim. Still one more question for Dr. Lokmanul Hakim. Has MUI considered the variable of halal suitability of production process in defining one substance as a material which is listed in MUI positive list materials?
Can you repeat the problem? Sorry, it's not
Okay.
clear.
So has MUI considered the halal suitability of production process in defining one substance as a positive list material?
Positive list means that there is a positive, yeah. Positive list. Of course, to making the positive list, we are concerning both. We are concerning raw material, we are concerning for the processing, etc., etc. Of course, the supporting material under the study my team, my expertise, like Professor Kaswar, one of the chairman of the expertise in the reform, they study on it and they check and concern for those items that not only the raw material but the process to make the positive list. I think it's very clear. So the positive list is not easy to make. Yeah? Some of them are easy to define, but some of them are we need to check. Yeah? Is it processing raw material or just the raw material, the fresh raw material? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lokmanul Hakim. One more question for Dr. Agus Dini from Mr. Marendra Chahya. What is the latest status for development of presidential regulation regarding the biological products?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Marendra Chahya. Now the final draft for presidential regulation is currently under legal review by the Ministry of Health. Maybe next month or next 2 months we can produce the presidential the presidential degree. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Agustini. The next question is for Dr. Chaudhry again. Yeah, this from Mr. Hadrian Shah Razat. Is the GHS-like standard that can be used as a global reference to ease information exchange among related halal institutions?
It's a very loaded question. GHS meaning Global Halal Standard, I suppose. There is currently no global halal standard. Each country, each significant country has their own standard. There could be a harmonized global standard, which all the common elements are in the standard. There always be some variations from country to country. The real global halal standard already exists, that has been given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's very, very simple. When we try to explain it to our own communities, then we put other restrictions on it, hence the country standards, individual certifying body standards, individual masajid standards are different. So there will be thousands and thousands of standards, but if we practice the main standard from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we could keep the things simple. At the second level, governments are responsible for their own population, their own citizens and subjects. And that is the relevant standard. So for Indonesia, it's going to be Law 33 and further regulations, which are going to be controlled by how many? 7 different ministries. That is the law and the standard for Indonesia. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chaudhry. So I think it's already more than 1 hour we have a discussion. Thank you very much for the excellent answer from all competent speakers. Respected participants, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, time is running out. Now we are approaching the end of this seminar. Before we close this seminar, would you please allow me to deliver some concluding remarks? They are Muslim countries are a huge market for the pharmaceutical products. In 2018, Muslim spending on pharmaceutical reached 92 billion US dollar. It is estimated to reach 131 billion US dollar in 2023. Indonesia, as the largest Muslim country, is estimated to spend about 10.11 US dollar by 2021. To enter the market of Muslim countries, the pharmaceutical products need to be halal certified, since there are issues on porcine components or porcine enzymes involved in the process, and non-halal capsule from the non-halal gelatin, and alcohol use in the pharmaceutical products. For the pharmaceutical industry, the challenges are to find halal materials which are safe, effective, good quality, long shelf life, low cost, and meet the regulations and fatwa. Thus become opportunities for R&D to find alternative or substituted materials which are cost-effective and locally produced so that it can reduce logistics. This needs global collaboration for halal pharmaceutical in general and joint research among research institutions and pharmaceutical industries in particular. To enter the halal market, halal pharmaceutical not only have to comply with the requirement of GMP and Halal, but also have to fulfill the Halal assurance systems. Halal assurance systems is an integrated management system to maintain the sustainability of Halal production process consistently during the period of Halal certificate. The amount of pharmaceutical companies which apply for the Halal certification are not as many as food and beverages company. The number of Halal pharmaceutical products compared to the total Halal certified products is less than 1.5%. There have been some misperception about the Halal certification among the pharmaceutical companies that all materials have to be supported by Halal certificate. In fact, the Halal supporting documents for materials are not necessarily only Halal certificate. Materials which are positive list materials do not need Halal supporting documents. Non-critical materials might be supported by flow process chart or specification or other documents as long as it can clarify that the materials are not from haram materials. In addition, MUI also recognizes and accepts Halal certificates which are issued by 45 Halal certifiers from 26 countries in the world. This will make the Halal certification process much easier and faster. That's some concluding remarks that we can take from this seminar. Now, would you please join me to thank all speakers for the very useful and beneficial talk today. Finally, as a moderator, I would like to thank to all participants for the kind attention and patience. Have a good day. Alhamdulillah, have a good day. I return the time to the host, Ms. Ratna. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you everybody. Dr. Chaudhry, thank you very much for your spending your time. Pak Rahman, Ibu Agustini, terima kasih.
Yeah. Thank you very much,
Thank you, Pak.
Professor
Sorry, ada host.
for leading our discussion today. And also, on behalf of the Executive Committee, we would like to say thank you very much for all the competent speakers for giving us the updated information as well as the knowledge for all of us. And not forget also, we would like to say thank you very much for all participants who has joining us today. And we do hope that our web seminar give advantage to all stakeholders in pharmaceutical field to face the mandatory of halal product, specifically for halal pharmaceutical product. So once again, thank you very much and have a good day. Bye-bye. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.